Today we start lesson 3.2, which we will spend 2 days on. Percents, decimals, and fractions. Our target for the day is I can write fractions and decimals as percents. So we've talked about turning percents into fractions and decimals. Now we're going to go back. The goal for this is to be able to just go fluidly between fractions, decimals, and percents. There are 2 ways to write a decimal as a percent. Method 1 is to rewrite the decimal as a ratio comparing the number to 100. And then we've got a fraction over 100 that we can easily write as a decimal. The other way is to multiply the decimal by 100, thus moving the decimal point to the right 2 times, and then we have a percent. So let's practice. We're going to start by writing 2/10 as a percent. We're going to do this both ways, I believe. Method 1, rewrite it as a fraction. Method 2, multiply it by 100. Now, 2.2, we know is the decimal 2/10. So to write the decimal as a fraction, and then write the equivalent fraction with 100 as the denominator is how we're going to do that. 2/10 is written as 2 over 10. How do we get the denominator to be 100? We multiply it by 10. What we do to the bottom, we do to the top, and we end up with 20 over 100, which is the same as 20%. Method 2, multiply it by 100. Multiplying by 100, when multiplying a decimal by 100, simply move the decimal point, the period, 2 spaces to the right, then write the answer with the percent symbol. So we simply move that decimal 2 places to the right, and before you say, but there's nothing behind the 2 to move it, there is always something behind the 2. There is a 0. Moving it over twice gives us 20%. Now let's do 1.63 as a percent. Same thing, we're going to do it, we are going to do it both ways. Start by writing it as a fraction over 100. All right. Now, write that percent. We've just stuck it over 100 with no decimal over 100, and now it's 163%. When you have a whole number and you're turning it into a percent, that whole number is going to be whatever that whole number is times 100. So in this case, 1 is 100. Method 2, multiply by 100. Moving the decimal 2 spaces to the right, which gives us 163%. Moving on to example 2, we're going to do this all in one video today. We're going to write a fraction as a percent now. First, rewrite it as a fraction over 100. In this case, we're going to have to do an equivalent fraction. So 2/5 equals what over 100? How do I go from 2/5 to something over 100? Well, how do I go from 5 to 100? I multiply it by 20, and therefore I get 40 over 100, which we know is going to be 40%. If the denominator is 100, the percent is whatever the numerator is. The other way we can do it is to divide the numerator by the denominator to find the decimal. Find the decimal from the fraction not by replacing the fraction bar with the decimal point, as some of you are still doing. Divide the numerator by the denominator and then multiply by 100. You can also change the fraction to an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 10 or 100 if possible, because we should feel fairly comfortable writing these fractions as decimals, which is what we just did on the left. So find the decimal and then multiply by 100. In this case, 2/5, which is the same as 4/10, or 0.4, multiply by 100, and we get 40%. Let's do another one of these. Write 1/3 as a percent. This one's a little bit different. We're going to start by writing it as a fraction over 100. So we need to go from 1/3, 1 over 3, to something over 100. Now, can we multiply 3 by something to get 100? Nothing, really. That means that method 1 doesn't work. Sometimes one method doesn't work, so we have to do it the other way. So we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator, find the decimal, then multiply that decimal by 100. Because I know I can't convert 3 into a 10 or 100 to find the decimal, I must divide. So 1 divided by 3 is 0.333333333, and so on. The 3's will keep on going, which is why we write the little line over it to show that this is a repeating decimal. That just means that the same, what is underneath the line is repeated over and over and over again. Then we multiply by 100, and we get 33.3333, etc. %. There is an assignment, even though there's not an assignment slide. There is an assignment on Google Classroom, and tomorrow we will be doing more of this. We'll be practicing these skills. Hopefully those of you who are still having difficulties with converting fractions and decimals, please will ask for help with that. I do not want you guys to be continuing with that practice because it is incorrect and there is a much better way to be doing it correctly. Please ask for help if you need it, if you're having trouble, if going from one medium, going from percents, fractions, and decimals is a little bit confusing for you, ask for help. Google it online. That's okay. Find a way to learn how to do it correctly.